welcome to this week's Battle of the Ports and acclaim London's 1999 RC racer, Revolt. Revolt was designed by Paul Phippen and Simon Harris. The premise of the game involves racing radio-controlled cars around environments like museums, steamships, construction sites and supermarkets. During a race, the cars can collect random weapons to displace competitors. You can also unlock cars and tracks through success in the game's tournament modes. Talking of modes, Revolt sure has a lot. There's the standard single race that puts you against the CPU, the championship mode, time trial, stunt area, battle tag, clockwork carnage that has up to 30 wind-up cars to race against, and of course the practice mode. But one mode that might keep people coming back is the track editor on some ports. So we're starting off with the least powerful released version here on the PlayStation, and yeah, it's kind of a turd. Even back in the day, this didn't review so well, and it's easy to see why. The frame rate is terrible, chugging along at 20 or less frames per second. The controls are pretty poor, sometimes they're quite still, and then suddenly they become loose, thanks to the fluctuating frame rate. Add in the less than pretty visuals, and you really don't have a very appealing game. It looks like a budget title, but it sure wasn't back then. The next version we'll take a look at is on the Nintendo 64, a system that, if you're into your bits, is twice as powerful as the PlayStation. Yet, looking at this version, you'd be hard pressed to think so. As to be expected on the N64, we have quite muddy textures, no matter which resolution mode you choose. Talking of which, the game runs like crap in medium resolution or high resolution, hitting single figure frame rates at times. What's boggling is that the game doesn't really look much better using high resolution mode. Sadly, just like the PlayStation version, the irregular frame rate harms the controls, making this one quite a challenge to play, especially on the museum stage, which is incredibly dark for some reason. And yes, I am playing this on real Nintendo 64 hardware. On to the Dreamcast version, and what a step up this is in terms of frame rates, graphical assets and speed. As with the previous two versions, the Dreamcast port has all the same game modes, with most of the tracks and cars needing to be unlocked. You've probably noticed that this version is in Russian, and judging by the messy character fonts, not an official release either, in which case it could have unlocked everything for us. Oh well. On October 3rd, 2013, the PC version of Revolt was re-released through digital distribution on GOG.com. The release was based on the community-developed 1.2 beta patch, with additional support for the original CD tracks as MP3 files. The game was pulled on request from the developers as the 1.2 beta patch in January 2014 due to the misunderstanding with the publisher. Through Korean publisher H2 Interactive, the PC version was relisted on GOG.com in April 2022, which reverted the game back to its original 1.0 version, and that's what you're seeing here. Basically what we have is the Dreamcast version, but now allowing for a lot of graphical customization, including up to 4K resolution. The game seems to be locked at 60 frames per second though. Putting everything to low setting does not speed up the frame rate. Revolt was released for Android devices on April 24, 2013, to the Korean T-Store and later to the Play Store. However, this is running on Android, but this is Revolt GL, a modern cross-platform rewrite of Revolt. It looks much like the Windows release, but now running on your phone. It has many of the customizable options found in the Windows version, plus a very large community making new tracks for it. You can even play online while chatting. However, all of that is beyond the scope of this video. We just want to know if it's a good version to play. Well, getting the controls to work is a little tricky. I got mine working on an 8BitDo Ultimate pad, but to move forward, I have to press up on the analog stick while reverse is down. This makes things quite tricky. Playing with touchscreen controls works well enough, and there's even tilt controls for those masochists out there. And let's take a look at all those versions of Revolt running side by side.